Hey, family. How is everybody doing? Good evening, you guys. We are now live. Let me get in there. Can everybody hear? Okay. Hi, Deborah Dickerson. How you doing? I see you. How you doing? God bless you. Hi, Deborah Dickerson. How you doing? I see you. How you doing? God bless you. Oh, yes, we can hear you. Okay, Sanjay Watts and Tina Powers. I text you guys a link. Would you guys please read the link? And then the information is in the link that the link, the information is in the text of the link that we're gonna need. Okay, you guys, we got 15 people in the house. It doesn't show me how many thumbs up. Everybody give us
It's
thumbs
12
up.
thumbs. 12 thumbs up.
Oh, you see the thumbs. See, I
I
can't
see
see
the
the thumb.
thumbs. It says 8 thumbs. I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
8 thumbs up and 12 people in the chat.
okay. Here we go. Chat. Okay. So we got that one going. Okay. Let me make sure I speak to everyone. Lovely Channel came in here running. Hey, Lovely Channel. Hey, BJ. How you
Hey,
doing?
Sonia.
Sonia Watts. How you doing? Deborah Dickerson. How are you doing? Okay. Sheila Cherry. How are you doing, Miss Queen? Okay. And let me see here.
Hold on 1 minute, FP. Just give me
Okay,
1 second.
you're fine. Kayla Howard, how are you doing? BJ Queen in the house. Cynthia Marie is in the house. Nashville, Tennessee, how you doing? She says, I'm getting ready for our quest to SP and family. If it wasn't for God, what I'll do, thank you all for your special prayers. You got this. You got this. You got this. You're right. You guys, we usually don't come on Thursday. Um, the family of Jamesburg, one of them was sick, so we canceled it. But we still have two guests. This Slick Whips is one of our guests, and then we've got a guest that's going to come on after her. Hopefully, she ain't fell asleep. How you doing, Lisa Calhoun? How are you doing? So right now, you guys, I just want to thank God, and we're gonna go off in a prayer. I know we're early. We're early. So you guys know what we gotta do. First of all, I want to give thanks to the Lord above. Hold on, because I got a special prayer. And I do need to make some announcements, but I'll make some announcements in between. So first of all, I want to give thanks to the Lord above. Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for giving us another day to cleanse ourselves and forgive us for all of our sins, even those sins that we do not know. Watch over everyone in the chat and their family, their friends. Keep peace in the world. Watch over the soldiers. Watch over police. Watch over everyone that is acknowledged to your kingdom. Give us grace and mercy as you always do. And watch over this channel as we go through it tonight. I pray for everyone that's on the prayer list, the ones that's asking for prayer, for healing, and for peace. Wrap your hands around them and let your will be done. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. Um, I want to always do the peace and protection prayer. 2 Timothy 4:18. And the Lord shall deliver me from every evil work. and will preserve me into his heavenly kingdom, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
And then the second prayer, one is for peace, the other one is for protection, is First Corinthians. Grace be to you and peace from God the Father and from our Lord Jesus Christ, who gave himself for our sins, that he might deliver us from this present evil world, accordingly to the will of God and our Father. Amen. Thank everybody for showing up. I know this is late, and I know this is not a normal day that we come on. And that's, hey Rakia, how you doing? Thank you for showing up. Sharon Wright's in the house. Marie Anderson, Curlin, McCoy. This is my confession. We usually have it on Tuesdays, not every Tuesday, but when we have something, we usually put it on Tuesday. Somebody requests for this to be on this particular day, Thursday, but they could not make it. But anyway, guess what? God is good
All the time.
because,
All the
you know,
time.
we still got two special guests, and we're going to get off into It's My Confession. Some of it is just actually telling a story. And you guys, you know what? We learn from other people's stories how to deal with things. So I am going to give Slick Whips the um the floor, and I'm gonna sit back and we're gonna listen to what's going on. How you doing, Slick Whips?
I'm here. I'm nervous, and I'm gonna try not to cry. Um, I wanted to come on because I wanted to take um my story and share it, and maybe help somebody else. Um, I have a 14-year-old who is autistic. Um, like about 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago, she ran away from home. Um, she was sexually assaulted at gunpoint by three guys. Um, so now she's pregnant. As a mother, that hurts really, really bad. But the only thing I could do was pray and try to get through this. So going, going through this whole process, um, it hasn't been easy, and I apologize for not looking up. I'm trying not to cry, but yet tell my story. Um, so talking to my daughter's IEP team, I found out that my daughter is not the only teen in the ninth grade that's pregnant. Is like six other girls. So I spoke to my daughter about having an abortion or putting the baby up for adoption, and she's agreed to putting the baby up for adoption. So as a mother, what do I do? Um, I started a fundraiser for her and the baby because um, I want to make sure the baby has a college fund set up. Um, I also want to donate diapers and Pampers to the other teens at my daughter's school. Um, Monday, I will be starting her own domain, so so my daughter could at least have some income coming in. So if she do decide to keep the baby, she'll have her own little backup plan for like starting a blog or whatever she wants to do with it. I haven't really sat down and talked to her about it yet, but I did start the fundraiser for her. She said she wanted to name the baby August. So on Custom Ink, I started the fundraiser for August Love. Um, Through this crisis, I just want to be a blessing to somebody else. I called SP because I know this is a channel for kids. um, Sometimes I just feel like I'm so alone and nobody really understands. I am a loner. I don't reach out. But this time I did because it's not just me anymore. And I know there's other people out here that may need help and may want to tell their story. So that's my daughter's story. Um,
So is your what's going on physically with your daughter?
um, her she has a form of autism and she's high functioning, but um, like it's hard to explain because autism is really really strange anyway. It's like 120 different forms. Um, my daughter, um, she'll take what she sees around her and turns it into a story of her life. If that makes any sense, like she will see stuff out there and it'll be become our life. Like we used to go to church every Thursday just to participate. So she think because we went there all the time that we owned the church.
Hmm.
Um, when Barack Obama was running for president, when Barack Obama was running for president, we used to live at number 44, and she associate numbers with a lot of things as well. Um, so she told everybody that we were related to the Obamas, and everybody was like, "Y'all related? Y'all?" No, we're not. So she associate numbers with a lot of things, and it's hard because you know there's no support groups about autism. You can't call up and say, "Hey, look, can do you go through this?" There's really nobody out here discussing these behaviors or how the parents feel. Because I am a single parent. Um, I'm not upset about that. I'm actually happy because she's mine, and I know that I do my best to take care of her as best I can.
Hmm.
Um, so that's our story, and our story is hard because where's the support groups? You hear about all kinds of things that goes on, and there's no real support at all. And who really understands what we go through unless you experience. My daughter's 14.
Hmm.
My daughter was 6 years old. I put her on a school bus at 7:30 in the morning. So around 5 o'clock she should have been home, and I kept calling the school. I thought maybe the school bus had got into an accident or whatever. Well, lo and behold, my child caught the trailways from downtown Baltimore to Ohio by herself.
Oh, really? How old
Yes,
was she?
ma'am. She was 7.
Oh
She was
my.
7 years old. And when I drove that 6.5 hours to Ohio, they was like, "Well, what was she doing here?" I'm like, "You're asking me? I put her on the bus for school. How did she get away from the one to one? Nobody knows." Why didn't someone call to see if this child was lost? I can't answer that. Um,
Oh, the school didn't call you?
nope, the school never called and said she didn't come in. Nothing. I know I put her on that bus at 7:30. Now, when I got to Ohio, I was steaming. Woo, that's 6.5 hours. That drive alone was enough. So,
Yeah, but
um,
6 years old?
yes, ma'am, six.
Oh my
And they
goodness.
was like,
So,
"What was she doing here?" I can't explain. I kept asking her, what is? How did you get up here? All she could say was, "I was on the number 44 to the number 70." So um, longitude and longitude is how she gets around and how she travels. Like she'll never know the name of the street, but she'll tell you what's on that street and what numbers associated with that area. So, um, the police looked at me and I looked at them and he shook his head. I'm like, what else could I do? I just go pick my child up. She wasn't hurt. We did spend 12 hours in the hospital to make sure she, wasn't touched or wasn't sexually assaulted or anything. She was okay. Um, is something challenging because she gets away all the time, all
mhm,
the time. And when I called you before
mhm.
in March, she had run away, and she was on the National Registry for Exploited Children. Um, so yeah, yes, I would like an attorney because like all I can do is shake my head. It's overwhelming within itself, and
So she's
um,
high, she's very high functioning, but not really where what is her IQ level?
her IQ level is on a third grade level, so she's functioning as a third grader. Um, she's great with traveling. If you want to go somewhere, she could tell you, but anything else, she doesn't understand. Like they tried to explain to her about the placenta, and she started crying in the hospital. Oh, I'm gonna lose it! I'm gonna lose it! I thought the baby was in my vagina. So she doesn't understand. And because it's my child, I would hate for anybody to take advantage of her. Um, and when her little girlfriend told me what happened about them both being assaulted at gunpoint, that's how I found out the story. Because the little girl told me. Um, she had several infections. I won't, disclose her info like that, but um, she thought she was gonna die because she had to take the medicine, and um, she didn't want to die because of the medication. If she doesn't understand it in her mind, she's gonna die.
Right.
Um,
Now,
so
did they just sexually assault her, or did they try to make her prostitute?
I think both because the little girl said that they gave them some money and brought them some clothes. But when I asked my daughter where the clothes is, she didn't know. She was like, they didn't give me no clothes. They just gave me money. So the police is still investigating it because it's a kids program. The people that sexually assaulted her and the little girl, they work at a kids program here in Maryland.
Mhm.
So the police is involved. Um, it's a mess. Like, oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. But my crisis or my mess, I know I can turn it around. Um, just being able to talk about it is a big relief. Is a big relief.
What about your her father? Is he in her life?
Um, no, and he says he's not in her life because he's on child support. But you don't pay nothing, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
He's never been in her life. He's never. I tried to, you know, get him to participate, and all he could say is take him off of child support. I'm out on disability, so I gotta eat. She gotta eat. He
Yeah,
should
I
help.
don't do they let you they sometimes I think some systems will not give you any assistance if you don't put them on child support.
Right, and because of her mental condition, she needs the state assistance. We do get medical assistance, and that's about it. They tell me I make too much on my disability for food stamps and all kinds of stuff like that. So,
Mm.
which is crazy because if you know she need medical, she don't need to eat, and now she's pregnant. Um, we'll see. We'll see. She's having a lot of mixed emotions about it. Um, Trying to explain to her why her boobs are hurting or why she's leaking milk. She wanted me to take her to the hospital because her breasts were leaking milk. I said, no, baby, that's part of the process.
And she's
So
14.
she's 14, but she's only operating on what third grade is what
Yeah,
7 or 8 years old. Yeah,
yep, 7, 7, 8 year old.
right. So it'll will this too shall pass. I'm a firm believer. We've come a long way. She has gone missing several times. Um,
She's missing right now, isn't she?
she's at the hospital right now. They
Oh,
found her. They
oh, they
found
found her.
her this morning, and they took her to the hospital. So she's at the hospital.
Well, good. Good they found her.
So
Was
yeah,
she
they found
was
her.
she in town?
They never. She never tells where she is. And the police will say where they picked her up, but they won't say who she was with or whatever. Because she was sexually assaulted, they're still investigating that as well. So,
And I'm wondering, they have I used to have my brother, he was
mhm,
special, and he grew up to be 50, I think 54, but he passed away. But he actually um was his IQ level was probably about fourth or fifth grade. He
right.
remembered more of anything. It just his
Mhm,
IQ level was really lower than that, but he can remember like
right.
his address,
Right.
he can remember, phone number, but
Mhm,
count money, he could count money. But other than that, I mean, he knew right from wrong, but people took advantage of him
absolutely.
all the time.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I did do, or we were trying to get, is they have these necklaces now that they have different colors and stuff, and they're
Mhm.
really GPS.
I'm waiting for that now. I ordered her one. I'm waiting for that now. I did put a tracker on her phone, but
Oh,
someone stole her phone. Um, so she has had, I must say, she has had at least 10 different phones since last year. I don't know if someone takes them. Um, I did put tracks on them, so I do know who's emailing her or who's texting her. That's all I know. And I submitted all that stuff to the police. Um, so now the fit band is what I got for her this time to put on for her to wear, so I could keep a closer eye on her where beings, because it only tells you like where she's gonna be.
Hmm.
So we'll see. We'll definitely see. She doesn't know how to write her name. She doesn't know how to spell her middle name at all. Um, so
Did they ever catch the people she was with that
when
sexually?
she to my knowledge, they have somebody in custody, and they're looking for one of the other guys. He runs a youth program here in Baltimore, and
Oh, really?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And the stuff he sent my daughter through text messages, he sent a lot of sex. He sent pictures of his private area, and he mentioned what he wanted to do with my daughter. So they're looking for him right now. So once they find him, I'm pretty sure we'll get a court date. I'm pretty sure we will.
Yeah. Well, and you
And
guys say you guys gonna keep the baby.
well, she said she wanted to put it up for adoption. That's something she just told me. I want to say about two or 3 days ago.
Right.
But before she said it, I said, I gotta think of something, because I'm disabled, I can't go back to work. Um, so I said I was gonna start her own blog and her own website, her own domain. So by Monday, I should have that set up.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the t-shirts because I said, she's gonna need income. Let's see what we're gonna do. So I started that, um, and I talked to her school. She goes to Digital Harbor. Here in Baltimore, and it's just rough because they giving this child so many choices to make on her own that she doesn't understand. She thinks if she put that baby up for adoption, she can go pick it up next week. That's not how it works. Um,
Right.
and that's not how it works.
Right. I'm pretty sure once she gets back home, you will talk to her more, and she may
Right.
not still understand.
I don't think she will, to be honest with you, but I will constantly, keep talking to my child and keep
Yeah.
praying over her because I don't. If I left this earth today or tomorrow, who would watch over my child?
Mm.
That's my biggest fear, and it's like, Lord, please let me see this child turn 18. Please. My parents were murdered in front of me at 6 years old. I don't want my child to grow up without me. I really don't. My oldest daughter is 27. She get ready to graduate from Morgan State University. Um,
Mm. Mm.
so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, please not social service, Miss Honey Bee. No, trust me.
Yeah. They'll probably want to put her in an institution or a
No, I
That's
tried.
what.
We went that route, and my daughter got out. She was in a locked facility. She got out within 3 days. Um, and she was missing for like 2 months.
Hmm.
She was missing for 2 months. And that's when she was 11. So, um,
Mm.
I have asked social DSS to come in and help and try to put her in a locked facility, um, just to try to keep her safe. And they was like, "Oh no, she don't meet the criteria." Okay,
Mm.
okay. So, so who's helping me then? Who's helping me with my what, Miss Honeybee? Honeybee, I'm sorry, V
She
Honeybee.
says, "Well, who's helping you then? Like
Well,
what
I
services?"
listen. I don't get any services for her. Um, because she won't sit still. I'm on disability. I work 24 years, so I get my little stipend from SSI. That's all I get. Because my daughter will not sit still long enough to stay in one place, she can't get the help. She can't get the help. She runs. She runs, and that's part of her disability. She runs.
And then at a certain age, she's gonna age out too. Where
Right.
where
She's gonna age out, and then they're not gonna help her. Then if she gets into trouble, then they'll put her in jail.
yeah, and whatever she says, um, they take her word unless you
Of
go
course.
get
Oh.
a guardianship, which costs money to get.
Yep. It does. Um. I had reached out to the Department of Social Service and Department of Juvenile Justice to get help for her. They won't. They won't help. She's not a threat. She's not a threat. But then again, this is my child. So because my child is a child of color, I just don't see them wanting help. Oh, SB, you disappeared.
I'm
Oh, you
sorry.
back.
I
That's
was trying to
okay.
add them in here. I was like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
That's
on.
okay.
I was trying to tell Sharon. Sharon had to go to work, and I was trying to tell her good night because she has to go to work early in the morning.
Okay, where you going? Okay,
Okay, so
okay.
um, I don't know what happened there. So okay, well, what she has done, she's done on her own, you guys, and so she was going to try to do this T-shirt thing. We have the link. If you want to donate something to this cause, we have a link. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? She's. I may have some information on help. Please email me. Who was that?
Andrea Maxwell. Andrea.
Okay, Andrea Maxwell.
hmm
Okay, so you know how you can get in touch with Andrea Maxwell. You leave her a message, and y'all work it
Um,
out. Um,
um, I can tell you guys my I could type it in the chat here. My email address. I do have a cash app. And the name of the fundraiser for my daughter and the girls at her school. I could put that in the chat if you want.
okay,
Um,
I
okay.
think the
I
mods, Sanja
okay.
Watts.
I'll
Do you
I'll
guys
put
got
it in.
her link for the um the
Yeah, I'm
shirt?
gonna.
So if you guys want to help,
Mm,
they might put the baby up for adoption. Um, Nancy D says
mhm.
my catch. Nancy DC says, SP, can I send her something monthly? She's gonna put her email up and her cash app or
I'm
whatever.
gonna. I'm gonna. That's my phone number. Um,
I
my
don't know.
phone number. My cash app.
I don't know if it'll go
Um.
in there.
Oh, it might not. But I'll give it to
Hold on.
SP.
If you go in the room and I'll make you a mod for the night so you can put it
Okay.
in there.
Okay. Um. Um. I Somebody asked if let me see. Asked about her running away. Um. Marie Anderson. Yes. Her disability makes her run. Um, I when I asked her why she runs, she got to keep moving. Like she's up all night. Um, she don't sleep. She sleeps maybe about 3 or 4 hours a day, maybe. And her mind is constantly running, constantly. And I can't explain it. And when I take her to the doctors, it's oh, we'll give her these pills, we'll give her that pills. And it seemed like if they give her the medication, it makes it worse because then she starts um tearing up the house, cutting her hair, cutting the clothes, fighting me. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. We did have a support group when she was 9. We were in like a group support group, and that support group didn't last long. And everybody's kids, it was maybe like 11 of us, and everybody kid was on a different level. Um, as far as autism, ADHD, the baby's due December the 17th, 2020. And she wants to name the baby August. And when I asked her why August, she said, because that's the month I was born in. So, that's fine. So, I, as a mother, I want her to make the best decision. My daughter's on the autistic spectrum. She has ADHD. Um, and why she runs, I don't know. We changed her diet, like no red dye, no yellow dye, no meat, no dairy products. And it doesn't seem to help either way. Put in court, they have to do something. How do you work on something? I know I work in mental health. You have to put the. Oh, well, we have a court date coming up. We do. We do have a court date coming up. And to be honest with you, because I've been dealing with this since my daughter was 3, with her running away, just doing stuff that I would never understand. She did go missing for 2.5 hours. I had surgery on my birthday. Madison was like 9. No, I'm sorry. Madison was 7, 7, 6 or 7. She was in the first, second grade, and she went missing. They called me when I was in recovery to tell me my daughter had been missing for 2 months, 2 hours. I'm sorry, for 2 hours. So I had to sign myself out of Sinai Hospital because that's where I had my surgery just to come look for my child. And she was on a construction site with a whole bunch of Mexicans, and none of them spoke English. And when I asked Madison why was she there, she just kept saying she was looking for her dad.
Mm,
So, um,
mm,
if she's seeing a doctor, she won't sit still long enough to talk to the doctor. She will not sit still long enough. I did get to take her to the doctors for her prenatal care. Um, and no sooner as we left the doctors, she disappeared on me. I turned around, she was gone.
mm.
And now she's at the hospital now, and because of the coronavirus, I can't even sit there to be with her. I want to be there with my child. My child needs me.
Right.
So and I
Mm,
have everybody, like my close girlfriend, she's like, you need to get a lawyer, you need to get a lawyer. I've called several lawyers. I used to work in mental health, and I've never seen anybody with a case like mine. Never. Never. So but I will say this, um, disability, um, having a disability is hard. Having a child with a disability is even harder. Um, she's gonna, well, if I'm on disability on SSDI, they will not give her SSI. Not to me. They won't do that. Um, it's called double pay. I don't understand why is it double pay when I paid into the system, but that's a whole nother argument right there. That's politics right there. We're not gonna do that.
Right.
We're not gonna do that. But
Mm,
I know there's no right answer. I just know for me, I wish I had someone to talk to about it because it's hard. It's overwhelming. How can I be in a relationship when I'm worried about my daughter running away? Nobody wants to hear, oh, that's not my child. Why are you worried about this? Nobody wants to do that. Um, Nobody. And it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind worrying about my child because I gave birth to her. So
mhm,
um I just know it's hard. That's what I'm sure of. It's hard. Whew. I'm
mm.
trying so hard not to cry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So
um
I think Belinda has your links. Sonia Watts got your link in there. Is she going to have? Oh, Tina's asking this question. That's a good question right there. Is she going to have an open adoption?
I'm not sure. I have to talk to her again about it. Um she believes because she's 14 that she got to wait till she's 16 to get the baby.
Um, okay. Here's a young lady, Cheryl Duckett. She's saying, SP, I wish she could call me. I'm a nurse in that field. I could really help her. I'm in Baltimore.
Okay, I'm in Baltimore as well.
And
I
you,
put my number on the I
if
put
you
my
say,
number in.
well, your number probably didn't come. Well, don't put your phone number. Don't put your phone number. You might, well, you could do what you want to do, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
If you come in the chat, I'll make you a mod so you can put anything in there you want to put in there.
Okay. I'll put my email in so they could email me.
First, you got to come
Um,
in. First, you got to come in the chat so I can make you a mod.
oh, I'm in. I'm in.
I
I'm.
don't see.
You
I
don't
don't.
see it? Let me see.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta do it from the phone. Wait a minute. Chat with the guest and the host. Did it come up, SP?
Um, I don't see it.
Live comments. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
I don't see it.
Yeah, it won't. It's hard for me to put it in. Let's see from myself. No, it won't let me put it in. But
What if you just put hi in there? I have to make you a mod. It won't let you
okay.
put. It will not
Nope,
let
it won't let me. Nope.
you. Can't
Nope.
even say hi.
It's on my end. On my end, I can see it, but on your end, it's not showing up because I'm doing this from my phone. So,
Oh.
but
Oh. Oh. Okay. Um. Okay.
Proverbs, trust in the Lord, and all that. That's all. That's all I have. That's really all I
Well,
have.
we're gonna keep praying for you and your daughter. Um, and we're gonna hand it over to the Lord. And you guys, we're putting the link up. That link that you guys see that says custom link fundraising, that is her link. You guys see her name. She's not hiding from anything. Her name is Slick Whips. Get to know her. Get to know her. Reach out, you guys. And when she comes
I'm
in the
sorry for
room,
crying.
if you guys want to help, go to that custom link. And she got shirts over there. I think they're $16. They're 16, right?
Yes, ma'am.
and let the Lord lead you in whatever you know. This is her daughter, and she's trying to start something for her daughter, and you guys know how that is. They have jobs for them, but then they gotta be on this kind of a level, and people's not really watching them, and she
Right,
can leave and run away. The only thing I'm gonna say, Barbara Powell says, "Oh, I'm missing so much." Um, um, they do have those alarms on doors and windows too.
right.
Um,
Mhm.
um,
And we have had those, but now that she knows how to work them,
right, they
let me
got the
tell
alarms
you.
on those windows and doors where they're embedded in. Oh, she
Mhm.
knows how to work them.
She knows how to work them.
Yeah, well,
She disassembles them.
yeah.
She
Oh,
disassembles them. So, yeah, she
well,
disassembles
and
them.
then, and then sometimes, you know, I'm just thinking of all kind of ways. We're gonna have you on again. We're gonna see what we can do. We've
Well,
got.
thank you.
I'm glad you
Thank
came on,
you. And thank you for having me. Thank you
and
so much.
maybe I don't know. Adoption is a good thing because I don't. You guys don't believe in abortion, do you? I think it's a little bit too late, right? No, it's not.
It's
It's what?
it's
She's
it's too
not.
late. It's too late. I think it's 20 weeks, I think, but I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
But because it's her body, I can't make that decision. They actually threw me out of the room when I suggested it. They threw me out the hospital.
Well, yeah.
They threw
Well,
me out. I was like, really?
yeah, they will do that. But I don't believe in it, but that's just my opinion. But so
Right.
she wants to give the baby away. Wow. Um,
Mhm.
and you guys, I don't know. Someone's asking, is it an open? Freddie Johnson is saying, is it an open adoption? I I have
Um, I'm not sure yet because Madison won't sit still long enough. She won't sit still long enough for us to discuss it.
okay, okay. SP have her call me, please. Okay, well, if you give me, well, like I said, you guys, what okay, once she gets off, can you come in the room and then that way I can
Mhm.
make you a mod and then y'all can exchange
Okay, I'll come in.
whatever you
I'll
guys
come
need
in.
to.
Thank you for having
Okay,
me. I'll
thank
see
you.
you in the chat. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, bye-bye. Okay, you guys, that was Slick Whips, and I was so ready to hear her story. You guys, I forgot. I've got the other person ready to come on right now, you guys. So we got to get through this. I know this is not a night we normally be on, but we doing it. We doing the darn thing tonight. um, ain't no devil gonna stop us tonight. Anyway, I want you guys to know that Nora's Closet, please, mods, please help us out and put Nora's Closet in the chat. You guys, Nora is our sponsor for this channel. She makes sure that everything can happen the way it's supposed to. And if we ain't professional, and I do mess up, you guys, I forgot to put her in there at the beginning, but she understands that when it comes to these babies and these children, I be wanting to hear what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be over there. I'm gonna give me a shirt. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna buy me a shirt. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. I'm gonna buy me a shirt, you guys. So I'm gonna support the cause, and we're gonna do what we can on this side because this is a family channel. That's why we don't. And this is a godly channel. It's governed by the Lord. So go over to Noah's Closet, you guys. If you're gonna buy a gift from for somebody for birthday or anniversary, she has the latest name handbags over there: Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Michael Kors. She's got a sale going on right now. She done added 300 new items. Check her out. And I'm finna put on our other guests. Here we go. How
Hey,
you doing?
can you hear me well?
We can hear you very well.
Wow. I just want to say something to the young lady that was on
Uh-huh.
um, about her daughter. She's a gift from God, and I want her to always know that she is special in a good way and to thank God for her life because going through that and being raped, she could have gotten killed,
Mm-hmm.
but she's still here. And as a person that has been raped as a child, always asking why me, why me. Um, God told me one day, but I spared your life, like Job. So that's why Job is one of my, you know what I'm saying? Because I was 4 years old when it happened in foster care, and a
Oh,
lot.
it happened to you?
Yes, yes, I was raped. I'm a twin, and I was in foster care um, because my mother couldn't take care of us for a while. By the time I saw my mother, at 2, 3 years old, I didn't remember my mother. So at 4 years old, I saw my mom. No,
Mm-hmm.
6 years old, my mom, when I met my mother. Even though during toddler years and stuff we were with, but I don't remember any of that. And I have a twin sister, and it's strange because when I was raped, we were together in the same bed, and nothing happened to her. So when I was growing up, I mean, that's one thing I remembered. And I think that sense of abandonment from my father used to take care of us, and then he couldn't anymore, and he sent us to foster care. My mother was gone. So that was two abandonments for me.
Uh-huh.
And growing up, I never wanted to be alone. And that's why I made so many bad decisions in my life. Being molested and being raped at 4 years old. Then when I did meet my mother, because of that being raped at 6 years old, because I was dying at the time, so she decided to take us back.
Mm-hmm.
I had pneumonia, and I just wasn't thriving. That's at 6. So at 6 years old, I finally meet my mother. I was upstate New York. Now we go home to Brooklyn, New York. This woman I don't even know. She's living with a man, her living husband.
Mm-hmm.
And they take me to the doctor. I spend half of the year in the hospital because of the pneumonia, the tonsillitis, and the sexual abuse. I missed school. I had so many fevers that I don't even remember part of those years. But what they found out was that I had a sexually transmitted disease at 4 years old
At 4?
from the rape.
Oh my God.
Nothing was even done about it. But I mean, when I tell you my story, I'm not telling it to be sad and depressed because I'm a comedian. I laugh at stuff now because of
Okay.
everything I've gone through. I'm like, if it had not been the Lord on my side, where would I be? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so, if you hear me speak in a positive upward, it's because I just want to encourage somebody else that's going through.
Okay.
It's not over. And so that was something else. Then at my mother's house in her apartment, this man, her stepfather, started her boyfriend, husband. This was in the 60s. He started molesting me.
Okay.
He didn't never rape me, but he molested me. He was a big man. I was a little skinny thing, very sickly. My sister was kind of heavily. We weren't identical twins, but we were paternal twins. My dad has always been in my life, but him and my mother separated. So I know my dad loved me. He just couldn't take care of two girls and work. And but this man threatened me, and he said, if you tell anybody, a 6-year-old child that's going through so much, I never told anybody. I was scared. And one day, my mom made this man leave. And years later, do you know I kept that secret till I was in my 30s from my mom because I had such a bad relationship, rocky relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, that it was rough, but I survived. I'm a survivor. But I know that the choices I made in my life that people judge me on, it's only because of what I went through as a child and not
Mm-hmm.
having that, nucleus family, not having a good family. Anyway, being in a dysfunctional family. Excuse me. Not only that, I've told you my story about, being HIV positive and living with that, and God healing me from full blown AIDS. So
Was that because of being four when you was 4 and 6?
no, no, no. I didn't contract the virus until I was into 1990. I was with a man, and he was an ex-IV drug user. And we were planning on getting married, started living together. I was divorced from my children's father. That was my high school sweetheart. But anyway, he was doing a lot of drugs and stuff. A lot of stuff I was naive about. He had me doing, and I didn't even know I was doing it. What I
Mm-hmm.
was taking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and So when I met this man, he was good. He was good to me. He wasn't doing drugs when I met him, and he had two brothers that were on IV drugs too. Matter of fact, this man went on to become a preacher before he died. And so he came down sick with this mysterious disease. And I would go to the doctor with him, but they would never tell me anything. And then he got sick and went to the hospital and they put him in isolation. Still, nobody told me nothing. Now, this is back in 1986.
Right, because of the HIPAA law.
Yeah. And then they didn't even have a test or whatever, but they didn't tell me nothing. I knew something was wrong with him. And he was getting real sick. And I told him, I said, you're not going to make it. I said, you're not going to die on me. I said, you got a big family. You got a mom and a father that live near us. I said, you're going to have to go home because I said, I can't do it. I got two kids. And he
Mm-hmm.
went home and his family took care of him. And I would see him from time to time outside. But, back in those days, he got real thin and lost weight. His skin turned black, which it was some of the signs of AIDS back then. And
Mm-hmm.
then finally, but still, I didn't know nothing. I went on with my life. And then finally, I found out somebody called me and said that they had his funeral. I was like, for what? Funeral? What did he die for? And they said, oh, he died from AIDS. And I was like, what? I said, nobody told me anything. Nobody even told me he died. I live around the corner from the family. They said, yes, he died. And the streets start talking. And I was in shock. I went into shock.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was in denial too, because I was healthy and I was working. I was like, oh, well, I didn't even know, how you can catch AIDS. You can get it sexually at that point. I didn't even know. And if whatever, I didn't want to know. I didn't want
Right.
to know anything because I'm like, well, I ain't out here doing drugs. I'm not no prostitute. I ain't laying up. So, hey, I ain't even going to worry about it. Matter of fact, I wasn't even sick for 10 years. Didn't have no symptoms for 10 years.
Really. But you was diagnosed.
I was diagnosed in 1991. So we're talking at least 5, 6, 7 years. And at that time, I wasn't sick. But in 94, my God, that was like 10 years later. 94 was the year I caught that pneumonia in the middle of the summer. And they put me in I couldn't even breathe. And I had to take a cab to the doctor. And I went to the hospital, went to the doctor, and he said, I'm going to put you in the hospital. And I want to know, have you been exposed to AIDS? And me, I'm like, no, uh-uh, not me, not me. I don't know if it was part denial or thinking about him or just being ignorant. And so they did the AIDS test, came out positive. I didn't know at that time. Now they said, let me go home. I was 90 something pounds.
Right. Now, what kind of test did they do? Did they do the rapid test or did they do
No,
something else?
not back then. They didn't have no rapid tests. They
Okay.
did the blood tests.
Okay.
They did the blood test.
Okay.
And all I knew was that when I came home, I said, "Oh, I must be doing better. I must don't," because I know they took the test. Nobody told me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I get a call now. I'm living. I had moved to Georgia. I live with my two children, my son and my daughter. He's in high school and she's in junior high. I get this call one day and says, "Come to the doctor and don't come by yourself.
And don't come by yourself?
Don't come by yourself."
Okay.
I mean, they didn't have much bedside manner back in the day.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so what I did, I called my pastor's wife, and she called another friend, a deaconess, and they said, "Don't worry, we're going with you." And I said, "Well, I don't know what's going to happen." Well, when I got there, I was a nervous wreck. Okay. And I already knew. And so they wouldn't let them go back to the doctor with me. And this is a little country doctor. He didn't. So when I went back there, he said, "I'm sorry to tell you have AIDS and I don't know how long you're going to live and you're going to die."
He said it like that?
Yes, he did. I don't know
Oh
nothing
my.
about it. I know nothing about it. All I know is that I said, "Oh," and I did the same thing. I'm like, "Are you sure? How many tests did you take? Take another test." "Oh,
Yeah.
we've done 3 tests.
Yeah.
We did 3 tests." And I said, "Well, what does this mean?" He said, "I don't know. I know nothing about the disease except people are dying. And I don't know how long you have to live." So, oh my God. He gave me a prescription for sleeping pills and tranquilizers. Why would he do that? So when I come out the office, they're carrying me because I'm just on the floor. And I'm crying and they're crying and I'm telling them what happened. And they take me home to their house, my
Mm-hmm.
pastor. Till this day, I'm not with the church anymore, but they're good friends of mine. And he
Mm-hmm.
prayed over me. And he said, "You're going to live. You're not going to die." He said, "God already told me that." And I'm like, what is it? What is the virus? I didn't know nothing about it. So I had to get educated. When I went home that night, I was sitting, I was crying, and the devil said to me, I heard a voice saying, "Just take them damn pills and get over with. Just take them
Mm-hmm.
pills. You ain't going to live anyway." And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Lord, if I could just live to see my kids graduate high school, God, I'd be so." And so, but I didn't take the pills. Matter of fact, I flushed them down the toilet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was that I found some agency. I went to a doctor. They had the health department at that time dealt with people with AIDS, and that's where I was at. And
Right.
I had the nicest doctor, who's still my doctor to this day, over 20, was okay, we on 28 years now, 29 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the same doctor. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time in 94, people were dropping like flies around me. But I got
Mm-hmm.
educated. And once I got educated to the street people, because I always thought it wouldn't I was too good, it wouldn't happen to me, you know. But what
Right.
I did was I began to do service, and I started visiting the sick and going to be with people when they were dying because their families didn't want nothing to do with them. And I would go to the hospital and hold their hand. And I
Mm-hmm.
always did that. Then I became active in the community. There was no other Black woman that I knew of that would come forward and said she had AIDS. So my doctor made the first video for AIDS education for the state of Georgia, and I was in the video. And
Really?
yes, I was in the video. And my family, they all came down to see me to say goodbye because I'm dying. I'm already 90 something pounds and my hair is all thin and falling out, and
Mm-hmm.
I was dying. And I didn't care. I said, "Well, while I'm alive, I'm gonna do the best that I can, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And
Yes.
so what happened, they came down. My own mom, she wouldn't even use my bathroom. People wouldn't touch me. People didn't want to be near me. My own family, they really isolated me. And I had to tell my kids, and I told my kids, they knew, and they were pretty supportive of me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that caused a whole nother story. By me being abandoned, I grew up with all this codependency, depression, clinical depression, which runs in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a lot of bad choices. All I knew was that I did not want to be alone. I need a man. I wanted a man.
Right.
I wanted to be married again. Um,
Right.
And like I said, my confession is that I've been married 6 times.
What? No,
Six
hold
times.
up. Hold up. You've been married six
Six
times?
times. Two of
Girl.
them twice.
Okay. To them twice.
So we'll call this "What's Love Got to Do with It?"
What
Because
love got to
nothing.
do with it? Nothing?
Nothing. But I can stand here now and tell my story and not be ashamed because I know what I went through as a child and what mental stuff, happened to me and physical stuff, so I'm like, hey, I got God in my life. He still got me here for a reason. So I tell people, I don't tell too many people that story, but I do
Right.
tell them about the other story. And it's so funny because I could tell you all of them were nice, handsome guys, but they were all alcoholics and drug addicts
Oh.
and crazy. And I was
Yeah.
crazy because I didn't want to be alone. So I took what I could get.
Yeah. Yeah. But did they know? Did you tell them?
Yes, yes.
And,
Okay.
and, and
After
everything was okay.
okay, when I moved down here, so when I found out I had the HIV, I was like, oh, okay. I would start going to support groups. There was nothing but gay men then, gay men. One day,
Uh-huh.
this nice looking black guy comes in, well, handsome and 6'4", walks in the door, and I'm like, oh my God, who are you? Now, by that time, we had other black women there, but they were very sick. They weren't they were dying, they looked like they were dying, but I didn't have no sores or nothing on me, I was
Mm-hmm.
getting healthier and they were getting worse. That's why I knew it was God in it. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, to make a long story short, that man was from the deep, deep South and he was in a halfway house about to come out. And he started coming back. And I said, well, if I marry him and he got what I got, we can be together for the rest of my life.
Right.
So I did. I married him. I
Uh-huh.
married him.
Yeah.
And I married him while he was in the halfway house. And he
Okay.
came out a month later. I was so in love, you couldn't tell me nothing. My family was happy for me. Oh, she found somebody, that's like her, and everybody was happy. The night that the day my husband came home, he was working and he bought a car. And he would
Mm-hmm.
come home on the weekends until he was released. And the first night that was supposed to be our honeymoon night, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
my husband hit the street.
Girl.
He hit the street. And I'm like, where's the car? Where's the husband? I'm like, oh, it's 12 o'clock at night now. We didn't had said hi to everybody and what's going on? That man didn't come until the next morning. He
Oh.
came in, I didn't know, I was so naive. My husband was a crackhead
Oh.
and he was
Okay.
out doing dope and smoking crack. Came back home, no car. Where's the car, baby? So to make a long story short, that marriage didn't last too long. It didn't
Yeah.
last too long. He
Yeah.
started taking everything out the house. He just went back. They put him in rehab and everybody loved him. Oh, he used to be a basketball star. And oh, we can help you. I said, there's no help for him. And the thing was he was on probation. So the day that he broke my foot, he he broke my foot. I had put him out the house and I think I let him in. He had just come out of rehab. So when he comes in the door, he sees back then we had the floor model TVs in the 90s and the VCRs that sat up there. And my daughter, so he said, he's thinking, I'm going to take this. He done took all his clothes and sold them.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, this man is crazy. So he tried to steal my VCR and I stopped him. And I said, you're not going to take this from my children and not for me. And so the floor model TV, we got into a fight and he turned it over and it fell and broke my foot. And I was in a lot of pain. The cops came, he ran. By him being on probation, he went back to prison. He went back to prison. And
Wow.
sadly to say, I divorced him, but he died in prison. He just gave up. The times they did let him out, I remember when he first came out years later, um, I was with another husband. And I told my husband about him, and I'm like, can we do something for him to help him? I'm always want to help somebody. So, we
Right.
gave him some clothes and stuff. He was staying in a house for people with HIV. But
Mm-hmm.
that guy started back on the drugs again, and he
Right.
comes from such a nice family anyway. I had to let him go. But
Right.
when I let him go, I was alone. I was alone. I was alone. I was fine with it. I'm like, whew, oh, goodbye and good riddance. And then I meet this guy. I don't even remember. I didn't go out. I went out a lot, but my children were becoming high school age, so I would go out maybe at night somewhere in the community, come right back. You know what I'm saying? I never
Mm-hmm.
stayed out with no man and all that, bring no man to my house. But anyway, I did meet this guy, and he was tall, dark, and handsome. His name was Donnie, and he
Johnny.
just kept pursuing me. Yeah, he was a Donnie.
Johnny. Girl, we know about some Johnnies.
Honey, that man, I kept saying, well, because he kept trying to get at me. And I'm like, well, I have this thing here, this virus, and it didn't matter.
Yeah,
I guess,
you told them as you met them. If they didn't know, you just told them.
oh, I had to. It's
Well,
no way
yeah,
I would cheat or lie like that before they
yeah,
even made it a law, because I wouldn't want nobody that didn't want me.
right,
So
right.
that's how I got caught up in the mess. And what happened was Donnie was drinking. I was more and more in the church, and we going to the same church and stuff. And then he was coming over. Then he wanted to move in with me. I said, no, 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 you can't do that. And I believe in marriage. Daddy
Mm-hmm.
said, I'll marry you. I just want to be with you. Well, me and alcoholic Donnie got married. He was one of them sidewalk mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good guy. He was when
That's
people
okay.
like,
They make some good money.
shoot, yeah, and he was a good
Johnny.
guy. And but Donnie was drinking, and before me, Donnie was living with a woman, an older woman, for years.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, we were praying. We prayed that alcoholic spirit out of him. Boy, oh, boy, I was going to Holiness Church, and he stopped drinking, but he had seizures.
Uh-huh.
So he was taking medication. So when he stopped drinking, we were so happy. But then it changed his whole complete personality, and he
Mm-hmm.
just was standoffish. He take that medication and made him kind of crazy. So one night I was on some medication from my doctors, which was steroids. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason he put me on steroids because sometime when my virus would get out of whack or something would happen, he want to pump me back up. Now steroids can make you crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with them athletes, it make you jittery. You eat a lot, you gain a lot of weight, right? So
Right.
I had all this medication that they had me on, and I wouldn't take it, but sometimes I couldn't sleep. And so one night, the first night, my husband didn't come home, and I stayed up all night waiting for him, and that just so I didn't get no sleep. So I had these pills, these Xanax. Was it not? Is that what it is? I forgot.
Xanax. Yeah.
The ones that
Xanax.
calm you down, make you go to sleep.
Xanax.
I had the Xanax, and I tried to call my doctor, and I said, "Look, I'm not feeling too good," and I said something is wrong. Uh, by then, my daughter was in high school, and my son was graduating in New York, going to college. So I said, I just don't feel good. I want to stop taking these steroids. They're not making me feel good at all. I'm thinking crazy stuff. So he said, "Oh, you just can't stop taking them like that."
Right.
But they never explained to me why.
Right.
So me, hard-headed me, I said, I ain't taking no more of them darn steroids.
Right.
Well,
Uh-oh.
I couldn't sleep, so I took the Xanax instead. And I don't know what made me do it, but I took the rest of the bottle.
How much?
Yeah,
How many was in the bottle?
enough to get me sent to the hospital and
Okay.
my stomach pumped.
Okay. So they thought that you tried to commit suicide?
So what happened was when I took the bottle, because the steroids had me going.
Because
So when you stop
you
taking
was like, I'm
steroids,
just gonna take them, huh?
when you stop taking steroids for a day, you ain't thinking right. I'm like, damn, I want to get some sleep. And so I
Mhm.
took the rest of the darn bottle. I went to lay down, and I heard the devil say, I got you now. I got you now. So I get on the phone and I call a minister friend of mine, evangelist, and I tell her what I did. And she said, oh my God. She said, hold on. Let me call poison control. She said, I'm gonna call you back. She called me back because I'm like sleepy now. I'm like, getting ready to fall out. And all I could hear was the devil saying, I got this. I got you now. I got you now.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
play in your mind. I'm like, what? Yeah, what's going on? I didn't know what was going on. I was so high, so out of it. She called me back. She said, you got to get to the hospital. She said, I'm sending a minister over there for you. This minister who's a elder now in the church is still friends with me. And he came. He didn't ask me no
Mhm.
question. He just said, come on, let's go. Let's go. And I was like, okay, let's go. They take me to the hospital, right? Now, I already had a
Mhm.
counselor I was seeing from time to time about my depression who monitored my medicine because I've been on medication for years for it. And I used to be
Mhm.
so ashamed of it. But then I'm like, hey, what's the alternative? Being crazy. So, doing stuff. So I got to the hospital.
Mhm.
They rushed me in the room, right?
Mhm.
They strapped me down. They brought that charcoal in. I mean, they treated me like a common criminal. They said, we
Right.
got an OD over here. She OD, so they thinking I'm a drug addict and everything. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell them, no, no, no. And they take all my clothes, everything off of me except for a gown because they
Mhm.
don't know what I'm going to try to do. So they pump my stomach. Oh my God, I was so weak. I couldn't, it was another reality. And after they pumped my stomach, I was laying there and they left the room. Then all of a sudden, everything started to get dark. So my blood pressure had dropped real low, real low. And I, I saw this image of God and he was looking at me. And I kept saying, I'm so sorry, God. I don't know what I did, Jesus, but help me. And it was like an image. And he kept telling me, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I'm watching over you.
Right.
So when they came back in the room and they checked my blood pressure, they said, this can't be right. And then they called all everybody started rushing in the room because I was just leaving out of here, flatlining. And they said, oh my God, let's get the blood pressure back up. So when they did that, by that time, my family here, my pastor, the evangelist that I called, she done drove 70 miles to get to me. And they at the hospital trying to see me. You know what they did? They took me out of a room and put me in a cell where they put the convicts at in the
Right.
hospital when they come, a
Right.
locked cell. And
Uh-huh.
everybody was there arguing, what are you doing? What are you doing? So we got to put her in there for her own protection. So I was out of it. And they was like, no, 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 we'll take her home. We'll take care of her. They said, nope, she got to go in there. So by that time, my blood pressure being so low, they looked at me and they just started praying over me and everything. I went in there and
Mhm.
eventually my blood pressure came back up. So I
Mhm.
came back to it. So my family and my friends, my church friends, they was like, okay, let's take her home. They said, oh, she ain't going home. No, 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 honey. She ain't going home. They said, well, where's she going? She got to go be evaluated for 72 hours.
Right.
And I didn't have the choice. So I'm like, oh my God, I've got no clothes on, just a gown, no underwear, nothing. They take me like a criminal. They took another woman who was a criminal, this crazy woman. Oh my God. And they put us in this van. And
Mhm.
the van locks with the gauge. And this woman was saying, I said, oh my God, I'm in this van with this crazy woman. I hope she don't bother me because she had attacked the family or something. They knew who she was. So we go to the crazy house, the mental hospital, right?
Right.
And so she goes in. So my family was like, okay, just gonna go in there and get evaluated, talk to the psychiatrist, and then call us and we'll come pick you up, right?
Mhm.
So the crazy woman went in first, the violent one, and she came out and she was going home. I said, "Oh, this is a piece of cake. I'm gonna." I took my behind in there, and they had a West Indian black woman psychiatrist. What did I
Okay.
do that for? She
Uh-oh.
said, "No, no, no, not today. You're not going nowhere." I said, "But I didn't try to kill myself. I just overdosed because I had a chemical impact." I didn't want to hear that mess. She said, "Take her upstairs."
Mhm.
Oh my God. I was already drugged up from the overdose. And
Uh-huh.
then they gave me some kind of psychotic medicine, for your mind. So when I
Right.
get up there, I'm sitting there waiting to give me a room. I'm looking around and it's all these crazy people. People I seen on the streets, the bag ladies and shopping cart people.
Yeah. People talking to themselves.
Yes. And I'm like, I will never say anything about them again. It's a thin line. and they treated me so bad because they knew my status that I had HIV. So back then, I remember from this white nurse when they put me in the room, she's like, "Oh, you're disgusting. You shouldn't even be here. How could you have a husband? How could you be married?" Or she just really. But I didn't care. And she made me take my medicine. They stood right there. Open your mouth, lift up your tongue, and take your medicine. And so
Right.
I took my medicine. I was out of it. They put me in a room. I didn't do nothing but sleep, sleep, sleep. They would let my family come see me. Every time I woke up, there was somebody sitting in the room with me, a lady that done drifted off in my room, and I'm looking at her, but I'm so doped up, I couldn't defend myself. And this lady would just be sitting there, older woman, like a mother, grandmother type. And so one day, they didn't let me have visitors. But every day they would take me to psychiatrists. What day is it? What time? What month is it? Who's the president? And I can answer all that. But I
Right.
was drugged up. So when I would go to meal, I would sleep through it. They would drag me. The orderlies would drag me down the hall because I couldn't stand up. Said, "You're going to eat." I was so out of it. They treated me so mean.
That's
And these
okay.
were black women.
I know. I know. I know.
So my pastor come knocking they knocked on the door. They said, "We just want to give us something." Honey, he gave me this prayer cloth. He said, "Whatever you do, don't let go of that prayer cloth. That's gonna get you out of here."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God." I said, "I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here." I'm thinking in my head, but I'm so drugged up, I can't even respond. So I keep the prayer cloth with me. I'm laying and sleeping. I never go nowhere. I'm still taking the medicine. And then it comes to me, stop taking the medicine. Because if you keep taking it, they're gonna keep you here. And so every day you go see the psychiatrist, right? I said, "How am I going to do that?" They keep watching me. I got smarter than they were. They said, "Up, lift up your tongue." I went, I had that medicine, that pill down there. As soon as they left, I spit it out. And after a couple of days, I was back to my normal self.
Yes.
I had all that medication. So I'm ready to go home now. This is 4 days I stayed in there. So when I go see the psychiatrist, she asked me the time of day and who's the and all that. How do I feel like hurting myself? I said, no, no, no. And so after that 72-hour hold, they had to release me.
Uh-huh.
But I'm telling you, when I saw my pastor and my family, they were so happy to see me. You talking about a testimony. And I'm telling you, when I went home, I was so angry because my husband had stayed out all night with
Hmm.
another woman. And I knew he did. The woman knows.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
could not forgive him because it had sent me in a spiraling downward.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't deal with this. And he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. I said, we gonna separate. I can't deal with you. He said, "I love you. I'm your I wasn't doing nothing. Mm-mm. When I'm finished, I'm finished."
Right. Right.
And so that's what happened. He, I made him leave. We got a
Right.
divorce and everything, and goodbye.
Right.
On to
So
the
are
next.
you married now?
No,
You
I'm divorced. I've been divorced for ooh, probably 15, 16, 17 years. I
okay.
finally come to my senses
Yeah.
and still have men pursuing me. I mean, it don't matter what you got. These men are they don't care. They don't care. They want somebody to lay their head and somebody go look good and gonna cook for them and clean. And oh, she keep a clean house. Why you ain't married? Why? Because I don't want to be. But anyway, to make a long story short, after that time, I had to make sure I stayed on my medication because I said, never do I want that to happen to me again. And when I tell
Exactly.
people I've been in the institution, I know what it's like because they look at me like I'm crazy.
Right. Yeah. When you on that medication, you have to wean yourself off. If
Yeah.
they got you on 10 milligrams, you
Yeah.
cannot abruptly stop that 10 milligrams. You better go down to 9,
So off.
8, 7,
I learned
go
the
on
hard way.
down because you gonna lose everything. You be what's going on
What?
and
I
don't know what.
know. I remember
Yeah.
one time my sister told me that I was so spiraling down, I get them anxiety attacks that I was outside at night walking down the street by myself,
Mm-hmm.
just walking. And she said, and she asked me where I was going. And I just said, I don't know. I'm just walking over the bridge, getting ready to walk on the bridge. She said, "You
Exactly.
remember that time you was getting ready to walk on the bridge?" I said, "I don't even remember." That's how crazy they had me. But if anybody have any questions for me, by the grace of God, there go I. I'm still alive. I'm not in my grave. I'm not COVID. And like I said, I
Are
make
you a
fun of
little
it.
scared of the COVID? Like,
No,
no?
no,
Do,
my
do,
sister had it. She's a nurse. I have COPD. That's the only thing bothering me. The
okay.
HIV is under control, been under control for how many, 28 years?
Uh-huh.
And when I go places, and I used to speak a lot, but now I stopped going because they, unless they pay me. I'm like this, when I'm, because I've been used so long for so many years, people wanted to put a black face, a woman up there. And I
Right,
never got any accolades or anything. Everybody else got it. And I stopped doing it. I
right,
said, people are taking advantage of me. And
right,
this is back in the 90s, So
right, right.
but
But
I'm an artist. I cook. I sew. I do a whole lot of stuff. Right now, I'm on disability. I'm trying to get a little extra money by starting this little home business, embroidery business. I have a website for all my artwork, my prints, and I do portraits. So I
mm-hmm,
just got a lot of stuff to keep me busy. And my daughter and my grandkids, I got to see them get married, college, grandchildren, college, everything. So I'm
mm-hmm.
blessed. My son is in New York. My daughter's here. She's got 3 kids and she's married. So I got 3 grands that don't live far from me. And
So how many kids you got all together?
two,
Two.
yes. Thank
Oh,
God, two.
two.
Thank God, two. But when I was 30 something years old, I told my mom, I finally came out and told her, I said, look, do you know that man molested me? And she didn't believe me.
I
And
know.
like I said, we had a rocky relationship, but she was like, no, he didn't. And then years later, my mother's 90 years old, she said, the reason that I made him leave is because he was looking at your sister. And I was scared for her. And I said,
Mm,
well, I tried to tell you.
mm, yeah. They see it eventually because the person don't stop and or something happens to someone else or they get with another woman and it happens to her kid or something. And you'd be like, well, see, I told you.
Yes. So that was like, through all the rapes, that was the molestation. The first one was the rape. And after that was another rape. Going to the daycare to the babysitter. The babysitter would leave. My mother's at work. We 7 years old, 6, 7 years old. She's leaving us with one of her relatives, a teenage boy. And he's taking the girls into the kitchen and keeping everybody else in the other room watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it was my turn, he decided he was going to rape me and have sex with me. And I tried to fight him off. But what he did, he was 16 years old and I was about 7 years old. And he said,
Wow.
if you tell, I'm going to do it to your sister. And all I thought about was protecting my sister. I was just in shock. So that's why when I say I suffer from post traumatic stress disorder, I do suffer from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to make the best of it. And I never told nobody. And it was horrible. It was horrible. And as far as the rape, I found out years ago when we were in foster care, my older sister told me that my twin knew that I was raped because she was right there and she was awoke.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you don't even know. She had to go to therapy for years because of it. So
Wow.
my whole relationship there was strange, but
Right.
I've tried to do the best I
Right.
could. I don't know. I'm just a child of God, been there, done that. I ain't
Well,
nobody special, but I just want to encourage somebody.
you have. I know you have. Trust me, I know you have. Just even, you're a beautiful lady. You know that?
Thank you.
And your story is funny. You said you done married
Oh my
six
God.
times.
But
I'm
the,
like,
the, the,
six?
the worst one was the one that I was married to for 8 years, who everybody wanted because he was a big old handsome. The color of his skin was caramel.
Yeah.
Son, one of these country boys. And we were friends. I knew his family knew my family. And he was always walking around with this funny looking woman, but I didn't know he was doing drugs. His name was Terrell. He was a Terrell, 6'4".
Right.
All right. 200 and
Okay.
something pounds of
Well, I
lean
don't,
muscle. Lean, mean muscle.
I
And
don't know.
so he would
Where did he
always
come
speak to
from? Texas?
I'm like, oh my God. And I would say to myself and to my sister, if I could just have that man one time. Now
Mm-hmm.
here I am living with him. the thing, the virus and everything. And I'm looking at me. But, I knew it was nothing going to happen.
Right.
But the thing is, it did happen. And he already knew about me. And
Oh,
our family's his fault. My father knew his aunt and all that stuff, and they got together. And then all of a sudden, he started coming around. I said, "Why are you coming around me? I can't do nothing for you. And he just got coming around. He said, "I like you. I want to be with you. I don't care what you got." And I was like, "Oh, this man can't be for real," but he was for real. And we stayed married 8 years, but on and off. And people would look at him and was like, "Wow, look what she got that fine man." All the church women would go crazy over him. But he was on drugs. But I
yeah.
never seen him do it. He
Mm,
was smoking drugs. He was smoking drugs. And
yeah.
he would be at other women's house and don't come home and come home. Look, he would come home. He would come home with new clothes. I be done changed the locks. You ain't coming back in here. He cried. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I love you." He go to the doctor with me. He was just everything. He loved my
Right.
kid, but he was crazy. And when I would
Right.
put him out, he would break in the house anyway. You standing up over me while I'm sleeping. Now that's crazy. Cut the phone line cord before we had
Right.
cell phones.
So, I got one question. So, do you
Yeah,
think that with you having that would make you just take even me and you knew that you didn't want because of maybe they would just do what they want to do, or you know what I'm saying? Like, could have picked a different type of
yeah.
man.
Well, no, I honestly, to tell you the truth, I can't say that because I didn't get diagnosed till 1990.
Uh-huh.
I had already been married a couple of times before that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
So my high school sweetheart, my children's dad,
Uh-huh.
we were in high school. He proposed to me. I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was going to college. I was going to college. I was going to college for art, and he was going to college up north. And we would hang out and stuff. We had a beautiful relationship, right? I didn't know he was doing. Then he started trying to introduce me to these drugs and stuff. They used to smoke this stuff called, it was embalming fluid.
Right.
I forgot what they called it.
They call it wet or water.
Yeah, yeah. And
It's
I be in the car. He
crazy
had a
stuff.
car. He come from a prominent family. They had money. They couldn't stand me because I come from a one parent household, and they all of this and all of that. But he loved me. And one night he took me out to Junior's, to this fancy restaurant. And he got on his knee and proposed to me. Now we were in college, so I got engaged. And I said, "Oh, everything's gonna be okay."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got pregnant at 18 in college. I'm living with my mother. I come home and tell her, and she said, "Well, you got to go." So my mother put me out in the street. My fiance, who is their father, he left.
When you told your mother put you out?
My mother said, my mother had remarried. She had a husband that was 10 years younger than her. She
Oh,
said, and I said, "Mom," I said, "let me finish college. I'll get welfare. You take care of the baby and I'll give you the check while I'm living here." That wasn't going to work with her. You got to go. Well, where am I going to go?
she just didn't want you around her husband.
That might have been it.
Do you see what I'm saying? Especially if something happened before, and she may think she doesn't want that to happen again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It could be she didn't want it to happen, or she knew that it could, or she just didn't want it to be said again.
But
Or
she
a
didn't
possibility.
at that age. She didn't even know what had happened to me. I didn't tell her till I was in my 30s. I was 18.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah,
Well, just like the women, like when you
yeah,
marry, when you know what your husband do. When you marry, you may say you don't know, but you know the possibilities.
yeah.
You know.
But
You
I have,
a mama know if there
yeah.
could be even a possibility, you got to get that child separated, or make the man,
Hmm.
or whatever. It may not never been said because back then people didn't talk about that stuff.
Oh no,
They
they sure didn't.
the kids be down in the basement doing stuff, and the parents know about it. They get a whooping. You better not say nothing to your cousin about it.
Yeah,
People,
and people used to take their children to parties and put them in the room with all the kids
yeah,
and get drunk.
yeah. And them kids
My
be
mother
in there
used to do
doing God knows what, be in the closet talking about it. Spin the bottle. It's your turn to go in the closet. Girl,
that. Yeah, you don't know what they doing.
yeah, they in there kissing, touching, don't know what's going on. You come out, you be looking all strange. Hmm.
Oh my God. And I'm writing a book and I'm just like, I cannot finish the book. I just need help. It's just so much to write it. You know, if I could tell it to somebody, that would be better.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what? You never, I know, but you never know. Like I said, you know, I like to tell stories. I don't tell them just to be telling my business. I tell them
Right.
so other people they can learn. They don't have to put
Yeah,
their hand on the fire to know that it's hot. Look, I done told you it's hot. Then be a little careful.
that's right.
And you never know. It's not for us to know who is helped, but believe it has helped someone tonight.
Hmm.
I'm so thankful that you came on and the last minute I was like, she was like, I come on.
I
I
knew I had to
said,
make
okay.
y'all laugh. I said I had to make them laugh. I said I got so many stories, but that's some of them.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed it. Anybody got any questions?
And I'm 62 now.
You
62
you
years old.
62. All right. You're a
Yes.
beautiful woman. You know that?
Thank
You're
you.
the spirit that you have is just so uplifting.
I try to be. And so I understand a lot what women go through in relationships. I used to teach on physical abuse because I was physically abused, and go
Uh-huh.
speak on that and, all kind of stuff. But these women out here now, I thought I was bad. They just desperate. They just do anything for these men to keep these men.
Right, right. And that's where they all going wrong. They're like, well, if I don't, you know, when I started dating at one time in my life, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I started dating, it seemed like every guy that you dated, it really wasn't dating. It was like he gets guaranteed sex.
Yeah,
And we
friends with
felt like it was
benefits.
just they all want to say me and you boyfriend girlfriend so they can have some guaranteed sex. And I didn't understand it when the guy dated and like a week later he was like, look here, SP, I've been dating you for a week, we done went out 3 times, it's fine. I said, what do you mean it's no, no, no. He told me that other women would be done did it 3, 4, 5 times with him already.
Oh
And
my God.
I I I just said, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't I don't want that. And some women thinking, well, you won't do it, some other woman will. But here's the thing. If that man disrespects you like that and you
Hmm.
give it to him, there's nothing to keep him. There's nothing when he done got the milk for free. You make him work for it, he might stay there a little longer to get to know you.
Yeah. And see, when I was married with Terrell, that time I had the virus, I thought he loved me because why would he want to be with me? Knowing
Right.
what I had. And he did love me, but he had his issues. And he
Yeah.
had the women issues.
Yeah.
And it got so bad that I had to, the only way I got out of that violent, because I done had 3 black eyes from the man.
Oh Lord.
The only way I got out of that relationship was to pray. I had to actually just keep crying out to God. When he didn't come home, pray, pray, pray. I didn't know if he was alive, where he was, but then I started seeing him coming home. And I actually found him. I used to ask the Lord. Now, this is the God's honest truth, how good God is. I said,
Uh-huh.
Lord, take me to my husband. I'd get in the car and God would take me somewhere in the neighborhood and my husband's truck be right there.
Oh yeah.
And I go to the house and knock on the door. He in there sleeping at some woman's house. And she's showing me his clothes that he lived with her. I said, he lived with you, but he my husband. He got his
Yeah.
clothes, his toothpaste, everything.
Yeah. She making room for him. If you ever
Yeah.
kick him out, he there.
But he's always coming. It's just crazy. It was crazy. It's just a whole lot of stuff. But I had to
Wow.
get God to give me delivered from him. And God was so good that when I did get delivered, he still kept trying to come around. He used to stop me. And then
Uh-huh.
he finally moved him out of the state. So
Okay.
now, all of those good looks, if you saw him now, you wouldn't believe it. He's not good looking anymore like he used to be. And
Oh,
he
he's not.
admitted, he said, I treated you so bad. You were the best thing I ever happened to me. He said, I was on drugs. He said, I was doing drugs and alcohol. I was drinking. I already knew he drank. He said, I was running women and cheating on you. And the women used to call me. Your husband just left my house.
Mm,
He's on his way home. I've been in your car. I've been, yes, they were some bold women because they were street women.
right,
Because he was in the streets. So, you know, when people getting high, they want to be around people they getting high with.
right, right. They don't really want to be
And
around
that don't look
somebody
like
for
nothing either. But
right.
they didn't care.
Okay. Well, let me see. Son says let me see, you never know what someone is going through or went through. That is why it is always to be nice to others.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because I should have been at all the times that I felt so depressed over my relationship, you know, like that husband at 8 years, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, one time he told me he didn't love me. I found him with another woman. And I just went to bed for like 2 weeks. I couldn't get out of bed. My sister-in-laws, everybody had to just nurse me, take back, you know. I'm
Right.
already dealing with the issues. But I
Right.
did come through because I had people praying for me.
Right. Right.
So I
Because
know how that is, being
that's a hard
heartbroken,
blow. Somebody say,
heartbroken.
I don't want you. Or
Heartbroken. I would see my husband after I put him out. He walking down the street, hugged up with another crackhead. I
wow.
hate to say it like that, but yes,
Wow. You done went through some stuff.
yes. And to this day, it eats him up. And I'm so glad he's out of my life. But he would call me crying. He still calls. He don't call no more. But he sees me on social media. But
Right.
honey, he still asks you, do you think I could ever come back in your life? No, baby.
Right. Right.
And the
Mm.
woman that he left me for was the woman I caught him in the bed with.
Oh,
And
really?
then that didn't last.
Did he marry her?
No, he went off to up north with her. I guess he thought he was, but
Oh.
that didn't work. Ain't none of his relationships worked since me.
Oh, okay. All right. So I hope I appreciate you coming on,
Yes.
lady. Thank you.
But
You
there
come.
is, like you said, there is somebody for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But just don't go too deep. Like you said, don't go chasing after them. You know,
Right.
talk to God about what you want.
Right.
And when
Right.
you least expect it,
That's when it happens.
see me, the devil knew what I liked. He know just what you like. So he should just put it in my hands. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take this. This is good. I'm gonna be married forever. I got a handsome husband and we gonna work it out. And it never worked out because I had to see beyond the physical, the
Right.
attraction. And that's
Right.
hard sometimes when you're
That's
feeling
very hard.
desperate.
Right.
But learning to love myself and be by myself was the best thing I ever did. And it took years. It took
Right.
6 husbands. And the reason I had so many, I guess, because when one acted up, I was like, get out of here. I'm divorcing your behind.
Like
And
I
they
get
never
another.
left on their own. I always left them.
Be like the city bus. Next.
Oh, boy. I'm like Elizabeth Taylor. What can I say?
It's okay.
And that one for 8 years, I married him twice. He went to jail, came out, said he was going to turn around, and I went and married him again like a fool. He did
Yep.
the same thing.
Couldn't tell you nothing back then. It's okay. We all
Love,
got
I love when I love hard. But you know,
yeah.
we're so insecure. We have so much baggage, women do.
Right. We do. We do. But God got us covered.
Yeah.
It seemed like you're in a peaceful place now though.
Oh yes. I couldn't. I couldn't. And I had a lot of younger men coming after me. I could not date. I don't date. I don't do nothing because I just don't want to. You know, I've been through so much, and I'm at peace. I don't have to have a man. And believe me, it seems like they just when you don't looking for them, they just still keep coming at you, coming at. And I
Yeah.
shut them off real. I'm saying, like, you want to meet me? Oh, have you had an HIV test? Because I'm HIV positive. Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you look so good. But you, I said, keep it safe out there.
Exactly. Exactly.
And send them on their way. But some of them still want to stay.
Yep.
They
Yep.
want to stay, not stay. They haven't even come into my life, but they still want to meet you and date you and all this.
Right. Right. It's okay. She said six
Yeah.
husbands next. All righty. Well, maybe you'll come back on and you'll tell us some more stories and stuff.
Yeah. Anytime.
All righty. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. If anybody got any questions for me, I'm an open book. So I have to find a picture. I'm going to find a picture when I was 90 something
Okay.
pounds. You won't believe it's me. I have it, but I'll find it. I have to look it up
Mm-hmm.
and I'll bring it. I
Okay.
was trying. I know it's late though now, so nobody's got any questions.
It says you are so upbeat and uplifted. May God continue to bless you. No, they were really enjoying your 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 story, your confession.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Everyone
you.
is a gift from God. Everybody got a testimony. Everybody got a testimony.
Yes,
Yeah, they do.
yes. You never know what somebody going through. But I mean, just whatever you go through, don't never leave
Nancy
him. God
DC
will never
says,
leave
"No,
you.
you
Don't
told
leave him.
my story."
Huh? And I'm 5'1". I used to be
And
five
Kelly
two,
says,
but the
"Thank you
older
for
you
your."
get, you shrink a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
You're welcome.
Uh, all righty. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All
And I
righty.
love y'all. I love this family we have here. We're all kindred spirits. If we don't know,
Exactly.
so we're all connected spiritually now. Very spiritual person. So
Yes, we
everybody
are.
take care and just hang in there.
Okay, we will. You do the same. God bless.
All right. God bless you too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, you guys, I told you. I told you, you guys. She said, bring her back. What do you mean, bring her back? She is so pretty. She is. She's a very beautiful woman. You guys, I told you, well, this is my confession. Every time when you guys see us come on, we're gonna have someone on, and they're going to always um I like when they come and they share and just open up so you guys can love, learn, don't be judgmental. You never know what you're gonna hear. I hope this helps somebody in the chat. I really do. um and you guys always see her. She's always in the channel, so make sure you be nice and all of that. I'm gonna get off of here because it is almost 10 o'clock. Here's our sponsor for the channel, Noah's Closet. You guys go check her out. I'm gonna be working on some things because I got some people coming over here and they're gonna teach me some stuff. So tomorrow's gonna be a big day. I'll see you guys in the morning. She said, love her in. Enjoy your testimony. Good night, SP. Good night. Good night, everybody. And thank everybody. And thank Mods. Where's my banners? I didn't see no banners tonight. Mods, thank you guys. You guys, I don't know what I'd do without you guys. Make sure you go to Nora's Closet though, because that is our sponsor, and she has anything that you need to give a gift. $5 and above, name brand, authentic. You guys, we got a giveaway coming up. Please make sure you show up. Mm, we'll say tomorrow at 5 o'clock, because we're going to go over some rules and regulations of the gifts. We got a lot of gifts. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. And I might see you in the morning. But good night.